Hello everyone, this is Aashin Prasad here, and with me is my colleague Ayan Acharya.
Hi guys.
Hello. So, on Sunday is the big Cricket World Cup ODI final between India and Australia, and in preparation for this final, we have done the most painful thing which is possible for an Indian fan growing up, is relive the 2003 World Cup final between these two teams, which happened in Johannesburg.
Yeah.
Ayan, I would also tell you like where I was and what I was doing then. Like, could you start us off with like how old were you then, and where were you when you watched this final?
I have a very vivid memory of where I was because I don't think I had hit my teens at that time. Yeah, I was pretty excited. Obviously, too young to be too analytical about the sport. Who's going to win the toss? What are they going to do? How will the pitch play? But yeah, excited about the final as any kid would be. India had made, and this was obviously you had heard so much about Kapil Dev lifting the trophy in '83. So yeah, my parents are huge cricket fans. My mother was in fact in college listening to the commentary over radio when India won that title. So I had heard a lot. And to see India play that final was exciting. I wouldn't say I had any complicated emotions because, again, too young for that. But yeah, I think as far as I remember, I had gone out with my parents before the game started and was following it over because back then there was no Twitter. Facebook probably no Facebook either. So there was no basically social media to disseminate information.
I don't think like any of us. I didn't. My parents at least didn't have a cell phone.
Yeah, neither did mine. I remember standing outside, these TV shops, like what you see now in montages when they start prepping for these build-up videos. Standing in front of a TV and watching, the first few overs unfold. Of course, it was quite nightmarish in retrospect. But yeah, largely speaking, I was outside the house and not at home when the match began. Came back, but we will discuss more on that as we move forward.
Yeah, and I was 11 then, and first of all, like why we of all people have to do this video is because like turns out like we are the oldest people in the office because we are 31 and unfortunately we are the only two people like who gone through this pain of watching this final, and now we have to like relive this whole thing again. And I remember so this was on a Sunday, right? And
I don't even remember that actually.
It was on a Sunday, and I remember I was doing abacus classes, taking abacus classes then. And I had to like finish that around like 12 o'clock and then like rush back home. I think the match started around 2, if I'm not wrong. It's a day game. So in South Africa, I think
the time zone was different there,
2:30 or something like that. So I was all excited, hoping, India, because I think they lost in the group stage game against Australia in Centurion badly. And I was of the hope that law of averages, you lose one, you win one.
The only team they lost to twice in that tournament was Australia, once in the league stage and then in the final. I mean, that was, now that I'm talking about it, brings back all kinds of memories. I am, well, for the record, a big supporter of Australia currently. I wasn't back then. Let's not delve into that, for the risk of getting...
We'll get into that at the end of the video. So, do you remember anything in the lead up to the game in terms of India won the toss? Did you expect India to bat first? Or?
Yeah, to be very honest with you, as I said, I was not nearly as analytical as you are expected to be now that you are in the profession. My understanding then was that you win the toss, you always bat first. Because that's what we did when we went to school.
And when you have Sachin in your team.
When you have Sachin in your team, you just bat first. I mean, that's what you do. You bat first, you score big, and then you put the team under pressure. And this is what we had discussed as well. My father is a big Tendulkar fan. And I am a Sourav Ganguly fan. I used to be a Sourav Ganguly fan back in the day. So just to sort of, I don't know, piss him off, I used to celebrate every time Tendulkar got out.
Wow.
And he used to lose his cool a lot. So I loved that. So even in the build-up to the final, I kept saying, Tendulkar is going to fail, Ganguly is going to be the one. And we used to fight a lot over that. Like, why do you have to be like this? You don't say this. My mother, of course, is also a cricket fan. She's like, don't say this. It'll happen. It's not nice. It's India. They should win. I'm like, yeah, they should win, but Tendulkar won't do well. So yeah, I mean that was the sort of build up. Of course, India had played really well. I didn't expect them to be honest, because they were not anywhere near as dominant as this team is. Although, if memory serves me right, then I think they had a good build-up. They were winning matches in the build-up to the tournament.
I think the loss against Australia came much early in the tournament, the second game.
Yeah.
And since then they went on a 8-game winning streak.
Yeah.
So that helped.
And for the risk of drawing some flack now, I think India's draw was also much easier back in the day.
Yeah, teams like Namibia.
Yeah. Netherlands as well, I think.
Netherlands we played in the first game, and then Kenya, I think they played them twice. Kenya, even though they made the semi-finals, comparatively, I felt that India were the stronger team.
And Ganguly scored 100 in that game, of course. The India-England game, well, I'm an Australian supporter, he's an England supporter. We'll come to that later. But yeah, the India-England game also, you had Mohammad Kaif effecting that run out. I think those days they used to show the World Cup on Set Max.
Yeah.
So, and that was a night game, if I remember correctly. So I have very clear memory of that, because I didn't expect India to win, so we slept off. But I slept off, and I was a die-hard cricket fan, so I woke up around 1:32 p.m. to go to the loo and switched on the TV to see if the match was over, and then I saw suddenly, oh my god, India is in the ascendancy and they might actually win.
Aashin Nehra's
Aashin Nehra's spell, he
6
was like,
for 23.
6 for 23.
That was the best spell by Indian bowler in World Cups until Mohammad Shami recently.
Yeah, that was crazy. I mean, we were not used to seeing India dominate that way. They had just started doing well, and sort of took over in 2001. But to do that in a World Cup against strong teams was fascinating.
Yeah, and what was I want to talk about? Yeah, so. Usually, like with India, like we associate with like we have a strong spin attack. But if you look at this game, we chose to bowl first, and Kumble was there in the squad, but like he played like 3 games in the start of the tournament. I think he played against Netherlands, the first game against Australia, and against Pakistan. But in the rest of the games, because we were playing in conditions where
so he was Ashwin.
Yeah, precisely. So I think India got in Aashin Nehra in his place, and he performed well in those matches against England and all. And even in this final, that was a debatable call for everyone. Like, should India have gone? And again, I think most people in hindsight were like saying, oh, we should have probably gone with Kumble. But yeah, in hindsight, like everything can sound different. Yeah. Okay, so let's start with the watch-along.
Are you ready, kids? I can't hear you!
Aye, aye, Captain!
So this is
the most painful 27 minutes 32 seconds of anyone born in the 90s interested in cricket.
It's so like some of our colleagues haven't gone through the pain, but I think we have gone through. I know, like people say in the 90s.
See, let's not make ourselves sound too old. Okay, so these colleagues, they're all 20, 25-year-olds. They've gone. They know what has transpired. They probably didn't see it, but they have delved into information. And well, to be very honest,
maybe if they lose against Australia,
they will have their fair share of fate to discuss. So that's another debatable point. But yeah, I mean,
look at the teams.
Yeah, look at the teams. You've got Australia, Gilchrist, Hayden is on committee duty right now. So Ricky Ponting as well. There's Damon Martin, Dan Lehman, Michael Bevan, Andrew Simons.
I forget that Bevan was at least 11. Oh my god.
And there's Simons at 7. Simons at 7. I mean, guys, this is the Australian team of the early 2000s. I mean, they used to steamroll opponents. So again,
Vaughan was suspended for doping for a year. So Brad Hogg in his place, Andy Bickle. Gillespie is not playing here. Bretley and McGrath. What an insane 11.
Andy Bickle. So and now India, you've got Sehwag Tendulkar opening, and there was Ganguly, of course, leading the team at the time. There was Dinesh Mongia as well.
And Kaif, interestingly, was the number 4 batter in that World Cup.
Kaif, Yuvraj. So basically, this World Cup was the start of a new dawn, so to speak, for Indian white ball cricket, because these guys were going to lead Indian cricket forward. Yuvraj Singh, of course, 8 years later, was going to be the man of the tournament in an edition that India won. So yeah, I mean, a lot of things, like people talk about the 83 win, we didn't see it.
Yeah.
So, but we saw the 2003 World Cup. So it sort of put into motion a lot of changes that subsequently happened and led to the 2011 win. Because I mean, it would be unfair on our part to look at the 2011 win in isolation. It was a process, as MS would say, which ended in a desired result. So yeah, getting back to the game.
Do you remember Jawahar Srinath playing in the final?
See, if you talk about fast bowlers in that game, the only fast bowler I remember is Zahir Khan, because of the way things began for him. I mean, those who believe in bad omens, I mean, that was as bad as it could get actually. It was. I remember this because I just couldn't believe my eyes what was happening. Just one wide after another, and the general reaction of course was like, क्या कर रहा है? Why are you playing so many wides, bro?
Like this first over went for 15. It was a 10 ball over.
Yeah.
Filled with wides. He was spraying it all over the place.
Yeah.
And I think India. So I've read in recent times about how Ganguly chose to bowl because it was overcast that day.
Okay.
And then after he won the toss and decided to bowl, the sky just cleared.
Just again, as I said, bad omens, signs of things to come.
Yeah.
So,
and it's, with Zahir Khan spraying it all over the place. Gilchrist just did what he does best.
They were 22 odd in 2 overs. That's like an IPL T20 scorecard today. So that tells you just how good Australia were and just how bad the Indian bowling was on that particular day. So look at this. This is Zahir Khan steaming in 140 plus. He was still clocking 140 plus at the time and getting hit equally quickly by 2 left-handers who I was literally scared of.
And to be honest, Hayden wasn't at his best in this final.
Yeah.
Like he was going at 7 runs at 21 balls. He was just biding his time.
Yeah.
But he didn't have to. It wasn't a pressure on him because Gilchrist is there at the other end to
No, I'll tell you what. My memory of that World Cup also is this scary image of Hayden walking out to bat because of his
man mountain.
Man mountain, and that bat looked like a toothpick in his hand. It was like he's going to just smash the bowlers without even playing a ball. So I think he may not have scored as quickly as the others did, but his mere presence was very important. It was like
91 in 95 and 11.3 overs.
I mean, that's again an IPL scorecard in the next
that's a score which the current World Cup teams are racking up. India is doing that right now.
Yeah, correct, yes. So just tells you that, again, baseball, Aussies had been doing it for a long time, so
I don't think so.
Yeah, so it was just Osball then. But coming back to this game,
I can, in another video, I can prove with facts that Australia was not doing what England are doing right now.
That's fine. Let's focus on India getting bashed by Australia and ruining our teenage years. So I mean, plenty of smiles and claps.
Moves to 50 here.
And back in the day, ODI cricket, I think that is what my parents used to tell me, that if you're batting, the one way to gauge that you're batting well is to see if the team has reached 100 or in 15 or 16 overs without losing too many wickets, and that's exactly what's happening here. It's about to be the 14th over. Australia are 105 for 0 and I think about to lose a wicket soon. Someone's going to get LBW, right? I think it's going to be
Gilchrist will get up first.
Gilchrist or Hayden?
Gilchrist. So Harbhajan.
Oh, okay. So Harbhajan gets the wicket and gets taken off the attack.
Catch top edges.
Yeah. And he gets taken off the attack.
No, he gets another wicket. He follows it up with Hayden as well.
Oh, okay. And then gets taken off the attack. So that was well ended.
No, but this is also on the back of Harbhajan making Ricky Ponting his money in Indian soil.
Okay.
This was that was in 2001, but he had a better record. He had the better of Ponting. So I'm not sure if he was taken off the attack. I don't remember that much. But common sense would say that he would have continued against Ponting as well.
Yeah. But again, this was 105 for 1. And if you look at the Wanderers, the approach to the dressing room, it will now remind you of the Motera Stadium, the Narendra Modi Stadium, dugout, and of course the second wicket falls immediately after. So this was the period when I think fans thought, okay, India is fighting back, because Harbhajan Singh took 2 wickets, and you were excited as a kid, not aware of how bad things were about to get. But that's how good the Australian team was in 2007. The fact that India even reached the final and to be honest, scored. And now that I look back at it, to see, I think they made what 270, 280 odd. India in the
India to.
Basically,
they lost by 125.
Yeah,
270, 280.
Yeah, so something along those lines. And mind you, 300 wasn't commonplace in those days.
Yeah.
Chasing it was even rarer. So the minute they scored 300, I was like, Gaya comes. The only guy who can do it is Tendulkar.
No, but so for me, the hope was that we have seen the year back we had seen the Nationals final where India chased down 326.
Yeah.
Like I think on commentary they kept repeating this: if India has to win the World Cup, they'll have to chase down the highest total in World Cup final, something like that, or in a World Cup. So that's something which is I can remember very clearly. I don't know how, but yeah. So but there was some hope, and Sachin was
in very good form.
He had 69 runs in the World Cup, and Ganguly also had around 400 odd runs. So Sehwag can get off to a good start as well.
So there was hope, but it was all foolish optimism in retrospect because
we'll get to that. But I think we need to so Australia are currently 203 for 2 around 32.
Yeah.
We need to talk about what happens after the 40 over point because it was just brutal.
Massacre. This is what we talk about when we talk about past scars. And how India was just steamrolled. I mean, you fall short of bad adjectives to describe what India was put through on that particular day. Damien Martin, of course, a great player. When you talk about Australia, there are so many great batters that you sometimes forget about guys like Damien Martin, even Michael Bevan, one of the greatest finishers. Even before Dhoni came, it was the Bevan era where he used to finish games clinically for them.
To be honest, I don't think Bevan had much to do in this World Cup.
Yeah.
Their top order was so good. I think there were a couple of instances maybe. I remember the England and New Zealand game where Australia struggled a bit with the bat, but other than that they were smooth sailing through it. Yeah, I think from now on Ponting is just going berserk.
The spring is working, guys. The spring is working. And I kid you not, this story was a rage back then when people found out.
Because we were clutching onto straws.
Yeah.
Any way to get the result.
Yeah, exactly. Any way to justify what had just happened. And there were forwards in those days, not through WhatsApp and all. You hear about things.
SMS maybe was a thing then.
Yeah.
And I don't know, through word of mouth, it just
got around. Spread like wildfire that there was a spring in his back.
Because see, this is a shot. Nehra bowls a full toss, and Ponting just hits a 6, I guess, off a one-handed 6 to the leg side.
Rishabh Pant wasn't even born then, so
when someone does something like this, when that rumor also comes about, it makes sense.
So, mind you guys, we're all kids here, so we're trying to join dots. Someone tells you there's a spring, ball bat ke lag ke ud gaya, pata nahi kaise ud gaya. I'm like, हाँ सही है spring ही होगा, तो कैसे उड़ेगा ऐसे?
I think during the Australian innings, I got frustrated after a point. I remember, I think I went to play cricket in the garden to take out my frustrations, I guess. Yeah.
And Rahul Dravid was keeping wickets. Those were the days you've got another Rahul keeping wickets this time.
Another Bangalore. No, Karnataka player.
Yeah, another Karnataka player. So they would hope that things turn out differently this time. They're going at 6.5 runs and over, which is a good run rate even now. In one day cricket. So 283 for 2. Australians have taken off. Ricky Ponting has taken flight.
He's just dealing in sixes right now.
He's just dealing in sixes. He's basically doing. I think IPL came at the wrong time for Ricky Ponting. Had it been just 5 years earlier, 2003, 2004, he would probably been one of the most expensive signings.
I know we're not talking about that, but I feel like if Ponting probably was in a different team other than KKR, maybe he would have prospered.
Yeah,
he would have probably had a good run.
Yeah, there he's celebrating Ponting.
Ponting gets 100.
100. Martin is unbeaten on 75.
So, I think Martin is 75 and he finishes on 88 unbeaten. And Ponting's on 100 and now he just takes off.
Yeah.
He already did. He's now he's a one-man show now.
Oh, goodness.
6.
And the bowling was pretty ordinary as well. Now that you look at it,
it's all full tosses.
All full tosses, all in the slot. But I think Indians were also overwhelmed by the occasion. Of course, back then there was no IPL. not everyone is Tendulkar, not everyone is used to that kind of pressure. So I think that also got to them. And Australia, of course, prior to that, that won the '99 World Cup. They were the defending champions. That played enough, one-day cricket as well, which India also did.
Oh my God!
Yeah, he's just
Not a
pulling.
slow ball full toss. Ponting just. Oh no! It's
No.
man's in the. Well, lands in
Yeah.
no
So
man's
that is how bad, that things were. That a miss hit, which didn't land, but people just assume that it went for six because that's what was happening. This was stick cricket for us back
Yeah.
in the day.
Stick cricket before.
Yeah, man, I sound like a grandfather narrating a story to their grandchildren. This is embarrassing, guys. 338.
We are watching this so that you guys don't have to watch
Yeah.
this. So.
And David Shepherd was the umpire. This is David Shepherd, right?
Yeah.
Is the umpire. Actor, very good. Very
Slow
good.
ball in the slot.
Doesn't matter. Slow, fast, medium, nothing mattered that day. There's a sinking feeling as I'm watching this.
So now you're an Australian fan, so you can. take
Yeah.
some- you don't
No,
have
but
to-
I was an Indian fan. I'm just so happy that this guy got a chance to redeem himself in the 2011 World Cup final. Zahir Khan. Not many get that opportunity, and it was like the perfect redemption as well. He bowled so many wides, a 10 ball over, and then he followed up with what a new ball spell.
Two
I
consecutive
think
maidens in the
he
start
gave
of
away
the.
13 runs in the first.
No, in the first two, he bowled two consecutive maidens in the 2011 World Cup final, and he also got a wicket in the next over. if I'm not wrong.
And there was Steve Buckner as well. So Steve Buckner, David Shepherd. Of course, Indians don't share a great bond with Steve Buckner, 2008 and all that. But and Steve Buckner is also an important. He's an important character in this India-Australia rivalry because of what transpired 5 years later when India toured Australia.
Yeah.
But yeah, 355 for 2.
So it finishes with a
49.5.
6 and a 4. So Australia, Srinath again.
Yeah,
He's
Srinath.
bowling
He's a
at-
match umpire. Match referee now. Yeah.
And he conceded 88 or 89 in 10 overs,
Yeah.
which was like unheard of around that time. So I want to hear this commentary bit where.
For Australia. Reminder, of course, that India won the toss and asked them to bat 50 overs. They've got 359 for 2 in the World Cup final. Ricky Ponting, absolutely outstanding. 140 not out of 121 balls. And good support also from Ricky. Damien Martin, rather, 88 in the partnership, 234. But brilliant stuff from Ricky Ponting.
And the Bickle.
Oh,
They didn't need Damon.
By Australia.
Bevan,
Simons.
Simons.
They didn't need 140 of 121 balls. That's a good 100 today, 20 years later. And you had Damon Martin scoring 88 of 84. So Matthew Hayden 37 of 54. Adam Gilchrist 57 of 48. Adam Gilchrist is one of my favorite players in EA Cricket 2007 as well. Just set the tone at easy and watch him smack sixes all day long.
India, look at the bowling options. Zahir, Srinath, Nehra, Harbhajan,
they use
Sehwag,
8
Tendulkar,
they use
Mongia,
8 bowlers.
Yuvraj Singh.
They use 8 bowlers.
And who had the best economy? Dinesh Mongia.
Dinesh Mongia
No,
had the
and
best.
Sehwag.
And Sehwag, yeah. 3 overs 14, 4.67. And Mongia 7 overs 39. Only 2 bowlers bowled their full quota.
You wonder why they didn't like bowl more.
Yeah. Zahid didn't finish his quota because he was going at almost 9.5. Srinath, Nehra were the only ones who bowled 10 overs each. Nehra actually was okay. 10 overs 57 in a game where
Yeah.
opposition scored almost 360. It's fine. Nehra also got a chance. A lot of these guys got a chance to redeem themselves.
Harbhajan,
Yeah,
Zahid.
Harbhajan, Tendulkar, of course.
Nehra, Sehwag.
Yuvraj bowled just 2 overs. So yeah, runs required 360.
They had to score at 7.20.
7.20, which these days is not impossible, right? But then it was because we are facing Australia. So yeah.
So we are gonna start with the chase now.
And this is Australia without Vaughan, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is without Vaughan.
And even Gillespie, who was the man of the match in the first India-Australia meeting in century.
Yeah.
Oh. So here's the chase. So Tendulkar gets off to a start with the boundary of the 4th ball.
Yeah, and they're gonna win the World Cup.
I'm like, okay,
Tendulkar is hitting a
we're gonna
boundary.
start now. Like,
Yeah.
after what he did against Pakistan.
Yeah, guys, this is Tendulkar at its peak. The man can do anything. He can bend a spoon just by thinking about it. That's how strong.
And then he spooned a catch.
And then he scored a catch. And,
to
yeah.
cotton
And
ball
that's
to
it.
McGrath.
And that was going to. And that that was the era where you switched off your television sets when Tendulkar got out, and that's
I think I
exactly-
did.
I
Maybe
did as well. I did as well. My dad.
And then I would have turned it back on the next hour as well.
Yeah. Like you hope that if you're not watching, maybe things will get better, and they got better because Sehwag I think was playing well, and he had some help from Dravid as well. I think Sehwag and Dravid were the only two batters who clicked. But Tendulkar, man, he was something else, you know.
No, but like for you to like chase down 359, 360, you needed Tendulkar to get off to a usual start.
And this is not the era where Indian team revolved around Tendulkar, mind you. That was the...
They were moving away from that.
Yeah, moving away from that, and that was one of the biggest contributions of Saurav Ganguly as a skipper, who created players who could, you know, win matches. You had Yuvraj Singh, you had Sehwag, you had Mohammad Kaif. With the bat, and you had Zahir Khan with the ball.
Oh, Sehwag actually gets out, but it's a no ball of Brett Lee.
Yeah. No free hits. No free hits.
No free hits.
Before free hit era. I think given how Lee was bowling that day.
I was a huge fan of Lee growing up. So
I loved his action.
There were times when, because he's a really fast bowler. And
unfortunately, I can't bowl. I still chuck, but yeah, I loved his action.
No one wants to know how he bowls.
But
so, I usually wanted like when Australia and India played, Lee to do well, but India to win. But yeah, that never like transpired.
Ganguly played this majestic shot.
Six, which was very reminiscent of those sixes against England in the Nations final.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, especially when he
because
sort of
in that match again, it was Sehwag and Ganguly who got that start for India.
And Ganguly sort of, you know, this was like trademark Ganguly sixes. He would step out, make room, and then hit. You know, through the square leg region or like towards deep point, but 27 for 1 in what things in 5 overs, it's still good.
Yeah, I mean like after the loss of Tendulkar, they had to like get going.
Yeah, so no, as I was saying, I mean, see, this is what even Aashin said just now. This is not a team that was revolving around Tendulkar, and yet you got the feeling that if India had to like even get close to a total, you needed Tendulkar to sort of do well, but he got out. So 50 for 1 in 8 overs. Our video producer Nigam, who wasn't even born, is asking us to lower the volume of the commentary. But
so Lee gets a wicket off. Ganguly, he does this usual chainsaw celebration.
Yeah, I loved his action, clean, quick, and the chainsaw action before. I think this was. Back then, the most popular celebration, and then Dale Steyn took over. So, Ganguly getting out to a shot.
Still, this is not a bad start, but again, 2 wickets for 50.
It's about to get worse.
Back.
It's about to get worse. I think 150, of course, it's a big margin. Ganguly also played well, 24 of 25.
Kev goes
first ball.
He's out for duck.
59 for 3, and now things are going downhill, of course. So, 59 for 3.
So, you know what? There is actually a rain delay around the 70-minute mark. And the belief was that, so the day gets rained out, we'll start afresh tomorrow. Whatever happened today, it doesn't count. We can, like, you know, do over the whole final again. That was the hope, but that didn't happen. It was like a brief 30-minute rain delay, I think. And there was no loss of overs as well.
Mohammad Kaif 0 of 3.
So Sehwag starts taking on the spinners, Lehman and Hogg. He gets a few sixes and fours.
And this partnership was doing well. This is when Dravid has joined him, and both of them are sort of counter-attacking. I'm assuming Dravid was the one who played the anchor's role here, with Sehwag teeing off. But the hopes were reignited. I honestly don't remember this phase of play much because
I think I got back to watching it again because like Sehwag was.
I think was Sehwag run out in this game? Yeah, I remember switching it on just as he got run out. So I'm like, no, bro, it's not happening today.
Did you blame yourself for that?
No, I don't think I cared that much about cricket at the time. But yeah,
I still do. Like sometimes when I watch the score and then like turn the TV on and someone gets out.
I think I got like properly hooked to cricket. And like reading about it, watching it, I used to play obviously, but was during India's tour of Pakistan, which was the year after this. So that was like historic. So much talk about it, was everywhere. So yeah, but again, I just remembered it while watching Sehwag back. I switched on the TV, he got run out, and I was like, not happening. Very, very bad day today. My mother screamed at me.
It's raining now.
It just started raining. He looked so much like Tendulkar in that stance. It was very hard to tell them apart, especially when Sehwag had just started. It was hard to tell who's batting, who's on strike.
Meghra's not happy with something, as always. And they're back again. Oh,
10-3.
overthrow. Oh yeah, I think they come back and immediately that overthrow happens.
250. Yeah. See, some of the shots that Sehwag played that day, if you didn't know better and you had a wide angle view, you'd think Tendulkar is batting. Very, very similar. It's only much later that you could tell them apart. Sehwag is batting on 71. Oof.
He's just teeing off now because he knows that he can take on the spinners.
Yeah. It's a bit like the frailty of the situation reminds me of the 2017 Champions Trophy final against Pakistan.
Yeah, now is the run out. Oh no. They need Australians knew it. See, this is the thing with Australia, like across teams, they just have, even when they are against a run of play, that one moment with the field, something, or even their bad balls get wickets. I can never understand how that happens with Australia.
They don't bowl too many bad balls.
They do.
That's one that they get. He's an Indian fan, I'm an Australian fan.
So Sehwag's gone, and I think with that, I think the hopes were like extinguished completely.
Yeah, because you needed an aggressor to be there.
Do we have to watch the entire match now?
We have to
it's
tell
like a foregone conclusion.
Current generation, how things ended. They had, I think LG was one of the title sponsors, so even now, they didn't have those cheesy lines about sixes and fours. They just had that LG face that used to pop out with the out card. So because watching cricket in those days wasn't just about the game, there was a lot of gimmicks around it. The duck used to walk out. I don't know if it was there in this World Cup.
It was.
Yeah, so the duck and that full-on walk back to the dressing room for Sehwag. It's just getting sucked into
flight of the stairs.
Vortex of despair.
Yuvraj
Singh also, I think. What?
He's also gone.
He's been dropped. Yeah, he's been dropped. I didn't remember.
David Martin. Lee catches him, but later on, I guess.
So clearly, he remembers a lot more about the game than I do. But
no, I just saw the scorecard before
okay. I didn't do that. Okay, so Rahul Dravid's...
but I do remember a little bit more than you do.
Yeah, Rahul Dravid's just played on games over, guys.
Typical.
187 for 5. I mean, there's not going to be a nat twist.
Bikal was that one tournament guy. I remember him being very... being in the center of things in that tournament, but not so much otherwise. I mean, I could be wrong, but... He had that 7-wicket spell against England, I guess. Oh, no. New Zealand. No, England. Sorry.
Look at them, they're so happy. I didn't like Australia back in the day. Just kept winning.
They're still the same. Nothing's changed. So
I have changed probably. But I mean, they just kept winning everything. So you probably wanted India to stick it up to them.
So Yuvraj's gone.
Yeah. At this point, you were like, क्या हो रहा है? हार जाएंगे. कल स्कूल जाके बात करना पड़ेगा. हार गए. क्यों हार गए? क्या यार? क्या कर दिया? देखा तुमने ऑस्ट्रेलिया ने.
How did we get 280 odd? 208 for 6.
Yeah.
Yuvraj Perez looking to go big. Greatly catches us this time.
This is all the Indian batters could do in that particular game. They looked to go big and they fell short. So.
Do you remember Dinesh Mongia?
He had a good tournament. I think he also had 100, if I'm not, or was it? No. I think there was one bilateral series where he did really well.
Yeah, against Zimbabwe, if I'm not wrong.
Okay. He was playing well in the build-up, so he was picked.
And he had the left-hander also can bowl.
Yeah. So matchups, guys. Matchups. Andrew Simons without the hairlocks coming in, picking wickets. Everyone, I think, got wickets that day. Look at the catch.
Oh.
Running back, Damon Martin takes a brilliant catch
Redeems
from
himself.
mid-off, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah.
Reminds me of the catch that Cummins took recently against South Africa in the same final. Another excellent catch. And now it's just the tail trying to wag, but
Harbhajan's
unable to.
gone. Simon gets another wicket.
Yeah. Simon's got Harbhajan.
I'm gonna like run through this now like this.
Yeah, please do.
A few moments later.
Lee gets another wicket.
They all get another wicket and the innings is over. India has lost. It's 134 more to win from 70 balls with 1 wicket.
By the way, our math was so wrong. Like,
I wonder what Maxwell would have done in this situation. 134, 70 balls, 1 wicket, 2 wickets left.
see, lightning doesn't like strike twice, so he had is like that one lucky inning. So
This was like a perfect Pretley Yorker.
Zahir's gone. No, Srinath's gone.
you look at Daryl Shepherd and I think he just wanted it to be over. He's like, just get them out quickly.
So that's the last wicket. Lehman
Yeah.
takes the catch.
Yeah.
Mygrave the wicket.
And
For some reason, I just like hope they like. I can't like still believe this happened. I hope somehow this can be like erased from history or record, like, and then like we can redo this final. And especially when that whole spring bat rumor started, I was hoping that the
39
title gets rescinded from Australia and India gets awarded.
Australia
the
also
title.
bowled a lot of extras, guys. They gave 21 extras. So 234 minus
I'm
21.
guessing it must mostly be from Brett Lee.
Yeah, probably, yeah. Sehwag was the top scorer. Look at that economy rate of their bowlers. Lehman, of course, was targeted as one would expect, 2 overs 18. But everyone else, Simons was brilliant, 2 overs 7 runs, 2 wickets. And Magra, 8.2 overs, 52 runs, 3 wickets.
I think Sehwag like teed off against him.
Yeah.
Yeah, this was Australia's second consecutive World Cup win after the 99 World Cup as well.
They would win one more and then be denied by India in 2011. There are very happy memories of that, of course, but we won't discuss that. But that's a quarterfinal win. But yeah,
So kids, that's how we were traumatized back in 2003.
yes.
And so yeah, that was the watch along from the 2003 World Cup final between India and Australia. 20 years on, now India is going to take on Australia again in a World Cup final in Ahmedabad. I was going to ask you like who's you going to pick. Like I'm not going to do that now.
See, I at the risk of being at the risk of having abuses hurled at me, mind says India given the form they are in, but heart still says Australia.
So I'll ask the producer to add tag his.
Please
social-
do not,
social-
please do
social
not tag me
handle.
on Twitter if Australia wins tomorrow. Don't abuse me. But they are big match team. So is India. But yeah, I mean, jokes apart.
You can tag me. I can give his ID then.
Yeah.
You can reach out to me. So also, so you know what? I actually think that it's going to be a reverse of this 2003 final where India might actually hammer Australia.
Yeah, that will be poetic. That will indeed be poetic. The kid in me, the 11-12-year-old me, would obviously like that to happen because.
Why you still an Australian fan? So.
No. The 11-year-old was an Indian fan. Obviously, I still appreciate India, but let's see how it pans out. Should be a good game.
Then like if India wins, then you'll say like, yeah, my kid, the 11-year-old kid in me is happy.
No,
Who cares about the
it's
11-year-old? in
okay.
me?
So okay, fine. Let's keep the lines divided. India, Australia. Let's see who gets over the line. But should be a great game. There's already a lot of talk about the pitch and how it's going to play, whether it's a used pitch or a new pitch. Mitchell Stark has already started the mind games, taking pot shots.
And also with my England allegiance, I obviously want Australia to be hammered.
Yeah, so there's that also, guys. So he's
Come on,
an
India.
England fan, and so at Sportstar we'll be running a live vlog. We'll keep a close eye, hopefully 10 years later our junior colleagues will do another watch along about the 2023 final and talking about how that reversed the.
Maybe you can come back again for that.
Yeah, and I'll be like, okay, now there's been a heartbreak and there's been,
More heartbreaks for you.
Oh yeah,
2003
so there's more heartbreak, but yeah,
So two teams.
Yes, the younger lot can talk about how this was a reversal of the 2003 heartbreak for Indian fans. So that would be all. Unless Aashin
Hope you
has
guys enjoyed watching this. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
Keep following
Thanks,
us
guys.
on Sportstar.
Yes, bye. And please don't tag me if Australia wins tomorrow. Bye bye. See you.